My husband has been making cornbread for me and our daughter every day this week. I finally asked why today. Monday night around 7 p.m. I walked into the kitchen and there it was. A full 9x13 pan of cornbread, still warm, sitting on the counter. The whole apartment smelled like butter and honey. I asked him what the occasion was. He just shrugged and said, "Thought you might like some." I thanked him. We ate dinner with it. I didn't think much of it. It was good cornbread too, the kind with the slightly crispy edges. Tuesday evening, same thing. Another full pan. I came home from work completely exhausted, our 11-month-old daughter screaming in my arms because she's cutting her first molar, and there's fresh cornbread waiting on the stove. I remember thinking that's sweet, but also kind of random. Like, why cornbread specifically? We never eat this much cornbread. Wednesday hits, and I'm genuinely struggling. Our daughter Emery hasn't slept more than 90 minutes straight in 3 days. She's crying, drooling everywhere, refusing her bottle. I've been up since 4 a.m. trying everything. Teething toys, cold washcloths, infant Tylenol, those frozen teething rings. Nothing's working. I come into the kitchen that night around 6:30, and there's pan number 3. Same size, same recipe, same placement on the counter. At this point, I'm starting to notice a pattern, but I'm too tired to really process what's happening. My brain isn't working right on this little sleep. Thursday morning, I wake up to find him already in the kitchen at 6:30 a.m., still in his pajamas. I asked what he's doing up so early. He said he wanted to bake before heading to work. 4th pan of cornbread. I'm standing there in my old t-shirt, hair a complete mess, holding our crying baby against my shoulder, watching my husband pull another pan out of the oven like it's the most normal thing in the world. He cut me a piece, wrapped it in a paper towel, handed it to me while I was still half asleep. Friday evening, pan number 5. Now I'm genuinely confused. I asked him directly, "Is there like a bake sale at work or something? Are you bringing this somewhere? Donating it?" He just smiled and said, "Nope, just felt like baking." That answer made no sense, but I was too exhausted to push it. Saturday was the 6th pan. I actually watched him this time. Watched him measure the flour, crack the eggs, mix the batter, pour it into the same glass pan he'd been using all week. The whole routine was so deliberate, so careful. He even set a timer on his phone for exactly 23 minutes. By this point, Emery's gums are so swollen and red she won't eat anything solid. I've been giving her cold applesauce and mashed bananas just trying to get calories into her. She's lost half a pound this week. Sunday comes, pan number 7. 7 cornbreads in 7 days. Our freezer is completely full of leftovers in Ziploc bags. I've been eating cornbread with every single meal. We've given some to our neighbors across the hall. There's only so much cornbread 2 adults can eat. That night, after Emery finally passed out around 8:30, I found him in the kitchen cleaning up the dishes, wiping down the counters, putting away the mixing bowl. I just stood in the doorway and said, "Okay, I need to know, what is actually going on with all the cornbread?" This is day 7. He stopped wiping the counter, looked at me, didn't say anything for a few seconds, just stood there with the dish towel in his hand. Then he walked past me toward our bedroom without a word. I followed him, completely confused about what was happening. He went straight to his dresser, opened his sock drawer, the one where he keeps his old wallet, some random receipts, a few birthday cards I've given him over the years, loose change. He pulled out a small piece of folded note paper from the very back. It was yellowed at the edges, clearly old, with deep creases from being folded and unfolded multiple times over the years. He handed it to me without saying anything. I unfolded it carefully and saw his handwriting from years ago, messier than it is now, like he'd written it quickly while trying to remember something important. The note said, "4th date, Italian restaurant on Maple Street." She told me when she was a nanny in college she made cornbread for teething babies, said it was soft enough for their sore gums, but filling enough that she could eat it too when the kids finally settled down. She called it her survival food, made her feel less alone during those long crying nights. I just stared at that piece of paper. We went on that date 9 years ago. 9 years. Before we moved in together. Before we got married. Before Emery was even a thought in our minds. He wrote it down that night, kept it in his sock drawer all this time, just in case he ever needed to remember. I looked up at him and he said quietly, "You've been exhausted all week. Emery's been miserable. I saw how tired you were and I remembered what you told me. Thought maybe it would help both of you get through this." I started crying right there in our bedroom at 9 p.m. on a Sunday, holding this tiny piece of paper that he'd saved for almost a decade. He's been quietly taking care of us in the most thoughtful way possible, and I didn't even realize it until tonight.